Judas Seat theory explained. In the high-stakes world of professional sports, every single detail is engineered for victory. Diets are calculated to the microgram, training regimens are optimized by algorithms, and game plans are dissected with military precision. But what if one of the most powerful tools for managing a team isn't found on the field, in the gym, or in the playbook? What if it's hidden in plain sight on the quiet journey to the stadium? We're talking about the team bus, a space often seen as a simple mode of transport, but one that can be weaponized into a theater of psychological control. This is the story of a controversial, clandestine strategy whispered about in locker rooms and back offices, a concept so subtle yet so potent it can make or break a champion. This is the theory of the Judas Seat. The name itself is dripping with insinuation. Judas, the ultimate betrayer. But in this context, who is betraying whom? The theory posits that the Judas Seat is a specific, strategically chosen spot on the team bus designated by a coach or team leadership. It isn't a chair with spikes or a broken backrest. Its discomfort is entirely psychological. Its purpose is to subtly isolate and neutralize a player whose ego or influence is beginning to threaten the delicate chemistry of the team. It's a non-confrontational tool for ego management, a silent rebuke, a way to send a powerful message without ever raising your voice. This isn't about punishment in the traditional sense, it's about recalibration. It's about reminding a superstar that the name on the front of the jersey is more important than the name on the back. So, how does it work? The execution can vary, but the methods all revolve around the principle of social and spatial isolation. The most obvious form is physical separation. Imagine a luxury team bus where most seats are arranged in pairs. Players naturally form cliques, sitting with their friends, their positional groups, or their countrymen. The Judas Seat might be the one single seat at the very back, next to the restroom, physically removed from the lively chatter and camaraderie happening further up. Or it could be a seat in the front, right behind the driver, separated from the main group. The player placed there is an island. They can't lean over and join a conversation easily. They become a spectator to their own team's bonding, a feeling that can be profoundly unsettling for a highly social athlete used to being the center of attention. Another, more subtle method is strategic placement. The coach might assign the star player a seat next to someone deliberately chosen to neutralize them. This could be a quiet, unassuming rookie who is too intimidated to speak. It could be the stoic equipment manager who is focused on his checklist. Or, in a truly Machiavellian move, it could be a teammate with whom the star has a known low-level friction. This placement effectively builds a social wall around the player. They are trapped in a bubble of silence or awkwardness, unable to hold court, tell jokes, or reinforce their status as the group's alpha. The energy they feed off of, the adulation and attention of their peers, is starved at the source. The bus ride, which should be a time for mental preparation or unwinding, becomes a period of quiet introspection, or worse, simmering frustration. The ultimate goal here is to combat what sports psychologists call superstar syndrome. This is the dangerous phenomenon where a player's immense talent and public profile lead to a sense of entitlement. They start bending the rules, showing up late, questioning the coach's authority, and creating a toxic us versus them dynamic within the locker room, them being the coaching staff or even their less talented teammates. A coach can't always confront this head-on. Benching a star player can hurt the team's chances of winning and create a media firestorm. A private shouting match can irrevocably damage the relationship. The Judas Seat, therefore, becomes an elegant, almost invisible solution. It's a psychological nudge, not a sledgehammer. It's a way of saying, you are a vital part of this team, but you are still just one part. It gently reasserts the team hierarchy and the collective ethos without the drama of a public confrontation. This strategy plays on a fundamental human need, the need to belong. Athletes, despite their superhuman abilities, are social creatures. Their success is often built on chemistry, trust, and a shared sense of purpose. To be subtly ostracized, to be removed from the tribe even temporarily, can be a deeply destabilizing experience. The player in the Judas Seat is forced to ask themselves questions. Why am I here? What did I do? Is the coach sending me a message? This self-reflection is precisely the intended outcome. The coach wants the player to look inward and reconsider their behavior, their attitude, their role within the team structure. It's a mental checkmate. The beauty of the tactic, from a coach's perspective, is its plausible deniability. If confronted, the coach can simply say, "It's just a seating chart. We're trying something new." But the player, and often the rest of the team, knows the truth. They understand the unwritten language of the locker room, and the message sent by that one solitary seat is received loud and clear. It's a testament to the idea that in the world of elite sports, the most important battles are often fought not on the field, but in the 6 inches between the ears. Block 1. Psychological warfare. Team bus. So, we've established the chillingly simple premise of the Judas Seat, a specific spot on a bus used to psychologically manage a star player. But to truly understand its devastating effectiveness, we need to move beyond the what and dissect the how. We need to put ourselves inside the mind of the athlete assigned to that seat and explore the intricate web of psychological warfare at play. This isn't just about feeling left out for a few hours. This is about the strategic erosion of confidence, the cultivation of doubt, and the manipulation of an athlete's core identity. It's the point where masterful coaching blurs into something far more unsettling. The primary weapon in the Judas Seat's arsenal is ambiguity. The coach rarely, if ever, explains the seating change. There's no formal declaration, "You're sitting here because your ego is becoming a problem." Instead, the player is left to marinate in uncertainty. This ambiguity is psychological torture. The human brain is a meaning-making machine. It abhors a vacuum. When faced with an unexplained negative event, it will work overtime to find a reason. The player begins a frantic internal monologue. This flood of self-doubt is crippling for an athlete whose performance is built on a foundation of supreme self-confidence. The mental energy that should be focused on visualizing the upcoming game is now hijacked by paranoia and anxiety. This process is what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. The player holds 2 conflicting beliefs. I am the star, the leader, the center of this team, and I am being isolated and treated like an outsider. To resolve this conflict, their brain has to adjust one of the beliefs. In the best-case scenario for the coach, the player adjusts the first belief, thinking, "Maybe I'm not acting like the leader I should be. Maybe I need to be more of a team player." This is the intended recalibration. However, it can just as easily go the other way. The player might double down, creating a narrative of persecution. The coach is threatened by me. He's trying to break me. This can create a siege mentality, leading to a cold war between the star and the coaching staff that poisons the entire locker room. The coach is making a high-stakes gamble with the team's most valuable asset. Now, let's consider this from the coach's perspective. Is this a legitimate tool of strategic management, or is it a form of toxic manipulation? Proponents would argue it's the former. They would say that a head coach is like a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Their job is to manage high-performing, often difficult personalities to achieve a collective goal, winning. In this context, the Judas Seat is a sophisticated nonverbal communication tool. It's a way to address a problem without inflaming it, to discipline without humiliating,
It respects the player's intelligence by allowing them to figure out the message for themselves. It's a chess move in a complex game of human dynamics, a necessary measure to protect the health of the team organism from the cancer of an unchecked ego. They would argue that a direct confrontation could leak to the press, create a media circus, and fracture the team publicly. The Judas Seat keeps the issue in-house, a silent, internal affair. However, the line between strategic management and emotional abuse can be razor thin. Critics would argue that this tactic is profoundly manipulative. It preys on an individual's insecurities and fosters a climate of fear and paranoia. Instead of building a player up, it seeks to break them down. It can lead to long-term mental health issues, destroying a player's love for the sport and their trust in authority figures. A player who feels psychologically targeted by their own coach is unlikely to go the extra mile or sacrifice for the team when it matters most. Furthermore, what message does this send to the rest of the team? While it might scare them into compliance, it can also breed resentment. They might see it as a coach playing favorites in reverse, singling out the most talented player with mind games instead of leading with honesty and direct communication. It can create an environment where players are afraid to be great, lest they become the next target. While no team will ever officially confirm the existence of a Judas Seat, the world of sports is filled with anecdotal whispers that align with the theory. We hear stories of legendary hard-nosed managers from a bygone era known for their unique motivational methods. We read reports of a star player suddenly and inexplicably falling into a slump after a supposed disagreement with the coaching staff. Journalists might note a change in a player's demeanor, a new distance between them and their teammates, often coinciding with a change in their on-field role or even their seat on the team plane or bus. These are the breadcrumbs that give the theory its enduring power. It speaks to a hidden truth about professional sports, that behind the athletic brilliance and tactical genius, there is a constant, often brutal psychological war being waged for control. Whether the Judas Seat is a real, codified strategy or simply an urban myth born from the pressure cooker of elite competition, it forces us to look at that team bus in a whole new light. Not just a vehicle carrying players, but a vessel carrying secrets, power plays, and the fragile egos of champions.